The mission of Historic Columbus is to revitalize, educate, abdicate, and preserve. It is said that the past is not the property of historians. It is a public possession that links the past and present to the future. This corner is a fine example of the Foundation's mission. 700 Broadway is a two-story Italian villa-style townhouse original to this location. In 1870, Albert Lamar wanted to build the most expensive house in Columbus. It was the only two-story brick building in the historic district for over 100 years. The interior walls of the home were also brick. His dream was short-lived because just a few weeks after the home was completed, the Rankin House took the title as the most expensive house. Mr. Lamar's ambition was also his misfortune. With all his money spent, he lost his home and filed for bankruptcy. 700 Broadway was then sold on the courthouse steps. 700 Broadway and the Pemberton House were historic Columbus house museums for several decades. It has been in the recent past that both properties have been returned to private ownership. The Pemberton House at 11 7th Street is a simple cottage with elements of Greek Revival. In the early 1850s, John S. Pemberton and his new bride, Anne Eliza Clifford Lewis, moved to Columbus. Their only child, Charles, was born the year following their marriage. As a young newlywed, Pemberton bought this house for $1,950. The house was originally located in the 1000 block of 3rd Avenue and moved to this location in 1968 in order for it to be saved. Before the Civil War began, he sold the cottage in 1860 to move 4 miles north of downtown, which back then was considered out in the country. The Pembertons lived there for 9 years. In 1985, that property was also relocated to the Historic District. It is now located at 712 Broadway. During the time he lived in Columbus, Dr. Pemberton, a respected medical chemist, was involved with 2 drug businesses, as well as a chemical laboratory where he manufactured medicines, photographic chemicals, hair dye, perfumes, and cosmetics. Dr. Pemberton not only served many manufactured drinks at his elegant marble soda fountain, but to the delight of his customers, he also prepared and dispensed many of his own concoctions. One of his most popular tonics was French wine of cocoa, the forerunner of Coca-Cola. Wanting to expand his business ventures, Dr. Pemberton moved to Atlanta in 1869. When Prohibition was introduced, he renamed his French wine of cocoa Coca-Cola, substituted sugar syrup for wine, and marketed the drink as a temperance drink. This worked, and his drinks began making more money in a day than he had previously made in a year. Unfortunately, he died on August 16, 1888, at age 57, never seeing the heights his concoction would reach. He is buried in Columbus's historic Linwood Cemetery. Make sure to visit the display of Dr. Pemberton's apothecary at the Columbus Visitor Bureau on Front Avenue and 9th Street.